Welcome to my cruise, trying not to be showy. I got to pay my dues to keep my jalopy. If we get the views, the shots will be flowy. We will try to amuse so it doesn't floppy. You got to see the twos, the Mando and Stormy.
Hello. I'm very excited to be here. I'm about to regain the two vehicles, my two dream cars from my youth, and I'm documenting it. So I'm going to bring you netizens along with me for the ride. I plan on posting these vids on the interwebs. There will be two vehicles central to the adventure, both having intertwined sentimental value to me. There's one's the 1992 super white Toyota MR2 T-Top, and the second's this 2017 Silver Sky metallic Toyota Tacoma TRD off-road. That's a mouthful. So how can these two vehicles that are like 25 years apart be so intertwined, you ask? Well, stay with me and you'll find out. The MR2 is still in Florida, unfortunately, and I haven't been able to get it to Pittsburgh yet. There will be a story for that later, and but for today, I'm going to stick with Mando. That's my Tacoma. And I'm going to tell you what it means to me. It's a unique story. Review where it stands today and the plans I have for it so that you can see where this channel is going to go. Why a Toyota truck? Well, growing up in the 80s, I remember loving those Toyota trucks where their owner changed their tailgates to say things like yo or toy. Then, of course, as a 14-year-old in 1985, I saw a Back to the Future movie with Marty McFly's custom 4x4 black truck. That cemented my desire for the Toyota truck, but I kind of lacked the funds being a 14-year-old. So when I did turn 16 and was able to drive, I didn't get a 4x4 truck, but instead I was privileged to get a hand-me-down from my parents, which I drove along with my older brother, green Datsun 510, where the floorboards were so rusted out, I could have put my foot right through the ground, just like the Flintstones car. Since then, over however many years that's been, I've had 3 chances to get a Toyota truck, and this is my 3rd chance, and I'll tell you about that. Okay, my first chance at a Toyota truck was when I graduated college with a degree in electrical engineering in 1992. I got a job in Washington, D.C., so I needed to buy a vehicle. It was between a Toyota truck and a Toyota MR2. When it impressed my then girlfriend, now my wife, I obviously purchased the MR2. It was a mid-engine, rear-wheel sports car that looked awesome and was a blast to drive. I traveled back and forth between DC and Pittsburgh on a weekly basis to see her in that MR2. I will tell you more about the MR2 story when I get it back in hand, hopefully soon. But needless to say, I got stuck in the snow too many times with that rear-wheel drive, so much for impressing her. Second chance at getting my dream Toyota truck. So it was the girl or the car. I picked the girl. So I went to go buy my own Marty McFly truck. It was probably 1994, so the Toyota truck was called the Toyota truck. It wasn't the Tacoma yet. I think the Tacoma model came out probably the following year. I test drove that truck and I absolutely loved it. But unfortunately, it was out of my price range. Since I needed the 4x4, it was a necessity because of the snow. So I had to settle for a black Nissan 4x4 truck. And I put black roll bars in the back so I could make it look similar to Marty McFly's truck, although not a Toyota. All right, 3rd chance at my dream Toyota truck. So now, fast forward to 2025, that was last year, and our family has 2 cars among the 4 of us, me, my wife, and our 2 kids. We bought the cars when each of my kids turned 16 with the intent that they share their cars with us until they graduate college, at which point they will have their own starter car free of any loans. So, and no, neither of their cars were like a Flintstone car like my starter car. I trusted the reliability of Toyota, so they were both Lexuses. Anyway, so now with both kids exiting college, I knew I needed another car. Somehow, I convinced my wife of the utilitarian value of getting a modern day version of Marty McFly's 4x4 truck. And this time it was going to be a Toyota, not a Nissan. How often in life do you get a redo? All right, so which one to choose? To get my wife on board, I need a long-lasting, reliable, budget-friendly car. It narrowed it down to the 2017 Tacoma, the 2nd year of production for the 3rd gen. Specifically, I wanted a 2017 Tacoma TRD 4x4 off-road double cab with less than 100,000 miles for a price in the low 20Ks. I really like the options of the off-road model. It has E-locks, crawl control, multi-terrain select, active traction control, and of course the Bilstein suspension. The only thing was missing is the really sweet hood scoop, as you can see here, of the sports model. Also, it needed to be the 5-foot bed version so that it fits my garage. And I like the colors of the super white and blazing blue pearl. So now that I had the green light, I know what I wanted, I knew the budget, it was time to go find it. So, at first I struggled finding a decent truck that fit my criteria, unless it was a salvage title or was close to 30,000. It almost killed my dream. After a few months of searching, I saw a listing for a 2017 Silver Sky Metallic Tacoma that was originally listed for $28,000, but it dropped down to $25,981 and listed as 72,000 miles. So the still a little high for my measly budget, and it wasn't one of my top color choices, as I said before. But my wife convinced me that I would quickly get bored with the blazing blue pearl, and that the silver color was a safe choice. So that night, I watched a video by the content creator Chloe Kuo with her awesome looking Silver Sky Metallic 3rd Gen Tacoma, and I was all in. So the next morning, I called about the truck and talked to Lauren Shoup, an awesome dude, aka the Auto Wizard, who owns Oz Auto in Ohio. I found out that this truck had a very interesting history. He bought the truck at auction from an insurance company. It was from Texas, where it had been stolen and recovered with some minor damage, but had a clean title, not a salvage title. The auction listed the car as having only 26,000 miles, but Lauren later found out that the odometer had been broken, and based upon his detective work, he determined the actual miles was around 72,000 miles. So we talked about it a little bit, and it was sitting on his lot for a while, maybe a year. So he's really ready to move on from it. So we agreed upon $23,500, which is about the same price he had bought it from auction. That week, my wife and I drove to Ohio, checked it out. It looked like there was a reasonable paint job performed on the side. That's probably from the work done because of the minor damage. But other than that, it looked really good with minimal rust. So we took ownership of it and brought it back to its new home in Pittsburgh. So now I finally got my dream Marty McFly Toyota 4x4 truck, right? Sort of. My son was training for his first triathlon, so we temporarily traded our cars so that he could haul his bike around for his training. Not a bad deal, though. It was a very nice Lexus IS sports sedan that he has, so that was not so bad. He completed his triathlon in May 2026, not too long ago in Panama City. As a week ago, I finally got my dream truck back. So, and soon it'll be full circle with both my Toyota 4x4 truck and my MR2 in the same garage. I can't wait. Okay, while my son had the car, it developed a musty smell. So he changed the cabin filter, cleaned the car, deodorized it, yet the smell still remains a little bit. I sprayed all the Lysol throughout, in the vents, and the windshield cowl, everywhere I could think of. The smell's reduced, but it's still slightly present. I plan on repeating the process of spraying this and maybe shampooing the seats. I'm not sure what else to try. But then my wife saw a mouse loitering around the driveway 2 days ago, and it made me concerned that maybe there was a mouse living in the truck and it just escaped. And the smell originated from him or his family. So I searched for a nest, looked everywhere. I couldn't find any signs of it. Everything looked clean. I didn't see any chewed wires or any sign of rodent damage. I'm hoping the smell doesn't come back. But if anybody has any suggestions, please comment. All right, here I am inside of Mando. So why is it called Mando? Well, during the time while I had to wait, while I'm waiting for my MR2, and the time while my son had my truck, gave me plenty of time to think about how to name these cars. Bounced the ideas off my kids. They threw away a lot of my ideas. But we ended up with well, I ended up with, because I'm not positive if they still agree with the names, but this one I call Mando, being that it's about it's a silver truck like the Mandalorian, and the MR2 we're calling Stormy because he's like a stormtrooper, and it's white. So this is Mando, a 2017 Tacoma TRD off-road 4x4 double cab with a 5-foot bed. It came with the premium technology package, and the tow package. And as you can see in the front, it has a different front grille than the original. It has a TRD Pro style grille that came installed by the previous owner. Raptor lights, which you see are on there, which is why I added the grille lights, and I'm in the process of getting it connected. There's I'm also putting in switchback DRL lights with the turn signal. Front anytime camera, so there'll be a camera put on here, which does not have a front camera currently. And I'll put a hidden bumper light bar in the front. As you can see on the side, there's some side steps or rock sliders that were installed by the previous owner with mud guards, which I believe the distributor installs. The emblems were originally blacked out. I wanted to debadge them because I wanted to have a nice clean look. I tried that, and once I took all the Tacoma badge off on both sides, there was definite fading of the paint, so it was not an option. So I reinstalled new ones that were not blacked out with the theme of Mando being silver. I'm adding the Meso Customs gas cap holder. I'm going to black out the wheels, and then I'm going to upgrade the suspension and possibly the wheels. And in the back, we have the tonneau cover, which the original, when I first got it, did not have a cover. Had some of the posts for it, so I'm assuming that it was part of what was stolen. So I found this additional cover for $100. Unfortunately, he also had the screw that holds it in. That was actually, if you purchase it separately, the screw itself cost $80. So that was a great deal. And so kind of restored it back to its original. What was really nice about it being the premium package is that it includes the heated front seats, parking sonar, blind spot monitor with rear cross traffic alert. Unfortunately, that part is broken, and I have to go look at fixing that. I believe it's the rear bumper. It looks like it might have been a replaced rear bumper, so it's not functioning properly. It says it needs to be calibrated, so I'll see what's going on with that. But the one really nice thing about being a premium package, it also has the sunroof and the moonroof. And as you can see here, the odometer says 33,371, which we know is not correct. It's off by 45,000 from the actual. So you add 45 to what that is. That's whatever you get is the actual miles that are on this car. I've already replaced the internal lights with LED lights. And over in this area, I plan on putting a switch panel in here for the front Raptor DRL lights. Put the front anytime camera switch on over here, as well as the hidden light bar switch. And in the back, I'm going to also add the 400 watts anytime outlet. Yay, it's a wrap. So thank you for staying until the end. This is my first video, so hopefully each video gets a little better as I get more experience. Let's hope. If you share the same interest as me, or you want to provide some constructive feedback, please like, subscribe, and comment. If you have any budget-friendly mods that you recommend for either Tacoma or the MR2, please comment. My goal is to post videos as my projects progress, so stay tuned, and I'll post them as soon as I can. And I have quite a few things already lined up for both cars. So, see you guys.